Mother Goose Melodies is an absolute delight and definitely a strong contender for one of my top five silly symphonies. It's not my all time favourite because there are some others that are amazing. At the moment, The Robber Kitten is my favourite, but Mother Goose Melodies is pretty delightful. And we actually do get to see something very similar a few years after this in the Disney short Old King Cole, because this does focus primarily on Old King Cole. And it was released in 1931, directed by Burt Gillett, and we have Alan Watson voicing Old King Cole. We have similar characters, Jack Horner, voiced by Walt Disney himself, Little Bo Peep, voiced by Mae Questel. I loved her performance. Instead of saying Little Bo Peep, she says Little Bo, and then blows her nose to make a peep sound, and I don't know why, but I found that hilarious. And we have all of these different fairy tale and nursery rhyme characters coming together, all there to entertain Old King Cole. And we do, as I said, see something very, very similar in the short film Old King Cole that was released a few years later as a silly symphony. So it's basically a precursor to that. Which is better? Well, certainly Old King Cole is better developed. The animation style is much sharper, even over just a couple of years. But this one is very sweet. If you're a fan of nursery rhymes, you will like it. There's a beautiful animation where they have Jack and Jill going up a hill. As I said, Little Bo Peep I absolutely love in this. I won't spoil it. I won't say all of the nursery rhyme characters that are in this, but there's a whole host of them. And part of the fun is wondering who's going to pop up next and how they will incorporate the different songs and stories. I really enjoyed it. As a silly symphony, it is a lot of fun. It's about 7 or 8 minutes. It packs a lot of nursery rhymes into there. Disney and nursery rhymes are exquisite together. They go together so well. They are innocence and fun. Sometimes when Disney do nursery rhymes, they make them a little bit less innocent. But actually, I'd say Mother Goose Melodies is pretty tame. Very tame, in fact. I enjoyed it a lot. It's not necessarily a typical example of a silly symphony. I'd say the majority of silly symphonies until about the 30s were all well, silent with music, no dialogue, and were largely just very basic in their narrative structure. But actually, from this point onwards, they begin to be a little bit more developed. We get obviously dialogue in a lot of them. We're edging towards Technicolor silly symphonies. So it's a good turning point. If you want an example of the later silly symphonies, absolutely check this one out. Certainly for an earlier silly symphony, there are a lot of other delightful ones. But for me, Mother Goose Melodies may be one of my top five.